A very good morning, and thank you for joining us on this edition of the Uganda We Want here on COU Family TV. My name is Philip Muliisa. We do remind you that the Uganda We Want comes to you in partnership with the Interreligious Council of Uganda, and we do know that the Council of Presidents for the Interreligious Council of Uganda, led excuse me, by the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, the Most Reverend Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, is aware that this program is on air right now, and certainly the faithful across the province of the Church of Uganda, but also the faith in the country are aware and certainly following on these conversations. The sole purpose of this, the Uganda We Want show, is to see that we, the citizens of the Republic today, can hold conversations, can set the pace, can have opinion and set recommendation for what the country we want should look like. What is the Uganda we want? What do you want to see in that Uganda? How should the healthcare look like? How should education, transport, every other sector of the nation, how should it look like? And you and I have a duty to do that, so that 100 years later, Ugandans that will be there, you will say that, the people that were here in 2026, 2025, 2020 did something, and indeed, that is the reason we have a country that is serving us in the best interest. In studios, I have a panel of distinguished citizens of the Republic, leaders, people that are taking decisions that are informing some of the things that are happening to you in the different communities where you are. And certainly, we are going to listen and hear from them, get their thought, get their opinion on the topics of conversation we have today. And perhaps by the time we leave this place, we could have a solution that is going to deliver. You know, government has the transition strategy, taking this economy from a $50 billion one to a $500 billion economy in the next 10 to 15 years. Now, the people I have in studios today, we could move with a solution that is going to create that for Uganda. We do know that just 2 days ago, we got bad news. The World Bank said we are still in the other lower end. I don't want to mention that end, and we are trying to get into middle income status and get to upper middle income status and effectively in the first world. How do we get there? Through the Uganda We Want show. In studios, I will introduce my panel, and certainly we get on with the conversation, starting with my immediate right, Mr. Mubangizi Pion. Mr. Mubangizi is from the Lead Impact Hub, and is briefly going to share with us what the Lead Impact Hub is as he speaks to us. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, our dear viewers. I'm Pion Mubangizi. I'm serving with the Lead Impact Hub as the Chief Operations Officer. At the Lead Impact Hub, we are trying to indulge the youth into leadership training, and we are emphasizing that the youth must be participating at all levels and do all they can that they shape the future of their nation. We are a non-partisan group, and we are serving at all levels, all regions, and we're making sure that we can make a better Uganda for us.
Thank you so much for joining us, Pion, and great work at the Lead Impact Hub. I have interacted with that institution severally, including participating in some of your programs, and I am proud to say that the things you are doing out there are good things for the country, and they are part of the contribution that should deliver that Uganda that we are looking for at that level. I have another gentleman on set at my extreme right, Mr. Nkoyooyo Tamale. Nkoyooyo, among other things, is a lawyer, but those of you that are in the audience do know the many hats he wears as well. And I will invite him to say hello to us, and certainly we get moving with the conversation. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Comrade Philip. As you've stated, I am Tamale Nkoyooyo, a lawyer, but also an advocate for the rule of law, democratic governance, and also positive social change. I am glad that with me is Pion, and I am glad to say that I am an alumnus of Lead Impact Hub, and it really benefited us And I am here because of Lady Impact Hub. So glad. Yes, and I'm glad that I'm here to deliberate on issues of national importance as highlighted.
Sure.
Much obliged.
Thank you so much for joining us. We are very honored to have you today. Now, in between the two gentlemen is Madam President. And please, you will permit me, whenever a president arrives at any function, you have to stand up, then the anthems play, and protocol, how things run. You will forgive us in the interest of the show and having this conversation. The anthems may take up the greater bit of our time. So we shall just go straight to her speech. Madam President, Shillah Ainembabazi, President of the Uganda National Students Association, we are very honored to have you. You're very welcome. Please say hello to the viewers.
Thank you so much. Good morning, dear viewers. First of all, there's a saying that ladies are always first. So I don't know why today the lady is last. But maybe because the lady today is a president, you say it. Okay. So my name is Shillah, like Philip said, Shillah Ainembabazi. I am here in the capacity of representing an institution that is the Uganda National Students Association that has been in place for the last 36 years. 35, this is the 36th year, where I am serving as the president. Uganda National Students Association is formed by the Act of Parliament. It is an institution that oversees, first of all the issues of the students are embodied in one body, that is UNSA. It has structures, it has coordinators in every district and city of this country. It has leadership on the district level of 9 members, that's the DEC members. It has an executive committee of 15 members, and it also has an ES and the staff. We are located at Legacy Towers under the Ministry of Education and Sports, level 1. There are many students and many people who know here UNSA, but they don't know where we are located. They don't know which office. They don't know so much about UNSA. And this is, every time I get a chance, I have to create awareness. So it is supposed to be a bridge between the Ministry of Education and the students. It's supposed to also be a voice for the students and cater for the welfare of the students. So we are standing in very big shoes, but we are doing our best. So today I'm very glad and happy to be here. To, of course, like my lawyer said, when I was young I wanted to be a lawyer, but I don't know what happened.
You can still be
one. But at least I'm seated next to one. Yeah. So maybe you never know, today I might go out with some
motivated,
yeah, some language, their language. So thank you so much. Back to you.
We are very honored to have you, and you can tell by the weight my panel has today. Madam President, an advocate, and a Chief Operations Officer at the Lead Impact Hub. Great brains, great people, and people that are making a difference in the different communities where they are, and colleagues. We are going to discuss 2 major topics, but before we get there, the panel I have today is largely of young people. And when I say young, I don't mean the babies you have at home, but people that are at that age that should make things happen in the country. But there's a lot of things happening in the world, and I want to pick just a very quick comment in a minute or two about the major events that are, major things that are shaping the geopolitics outside there. One of them is the World Cup. We are in at the level of semi-finals now. We do know that Spain is now into the finals after defeating France the other night 2-0. Today we have another game, Argentina playing England to also see who will secure a spot in the final. That is one of the events, and I want to quickly pick their thought on the World Cup. I don't know if their teams are still in the competition or somehow they were not good enough to get to this level. But secondly, the other event that has been shaping the world very strongly is the US-Israel-Iran conflict. And it has gone through 2 phases or 3. War starts, then we get a ceasefire in between, then war comes back again, then we talk about an agreement, we get a temporary memorandum of understanding that has been broken already, and we've had a bit of fighting through this week, and we do know the effects of that among the many, including the fact that when you go to the different pumps, or fuel stations in the country, the prices are not as pleasing as they should be. And I want to pick the thought again over the great people here. What do they think should be Uganda's position in such events, activities, situations at the international stage, and should we even care as Ugandans when such things are happening? After all, they are in Tehran and Washington and Brussels, and why should Ugandans care? So I'll start with you, Tamale. Those two things. First, you tell us about the World Cup and where you are, but secondly, a bit of the Iran in a minute or two.
Thank you very much, Philip. Madam President stated that all her capacities in which she's here, but maybe it's important to know that besides being a lawyer, as noted, I am also a member of the National Youth Parliament. Yes, it's a platform that is also helping in amplifying the youth voices, and it's important to note. Going back to the World Cup, soccer, but I am for England, but caught in a conundrum, I would say, that I feel for Messi. So I'm in a very, I've been placed in a very hard spot tonight on which team to support. But I really pray, since we don't have any other African team and Uganda didn't qualify, today's night, I am 100% for England.
Okay, sir. We know your position now, and
yes.
we hope you succeed. We don't know what is going to come out of there. We wait to see how that is going to come out. But also, Uganda and the conflicts in the Middle East. What is there for Uganda?
You have stated in the preamble that you offered to the viewers that we are still struggling to reach, even to attain the middle income status, as always noted. So world conflicts do directly affect us, as you have seen. Was it Metternich when we said when he sneezes, entire Europe gets cold, catches flu, something of that kind. Those big economies, whichever event that takes place, directly impacts on our economy and sometimes even the politics. Because if the people cannot go to the fuel pumps and get fuel at a price that is so moderate, I would state, that means we shall have to push back against the government for not having provided solutions to that. So the war that is happening in Iran directly affects us because we import our fuel.
Yeah, Uganda gets about 95% of its fuel and fuel products from the Middle East. So.
Yes, so it directly impacts us, but I don't want to be so much optimistic, I would say. All position ourselves in a very important spot. Our say or not has got limited impact on the influence of the war in Iran.
All right, thank you so much, Madam President. I don't know how much sport you do, but because you lead the young people of this country, I am sure they are spending sleepless nights watching football. I want to hear, I know you could have supported Uganda, but unfortunately we are present in an inactive position. What do you think about the World Cup and secondly the challenges in the Middle East, especially for Uganda?
Myself, I'm a supporter of Ronaldo.
Sorry.
He's already home sleeping. So I would advise the young people to go home and sleep. We should not spend these sleepless nights. You remember Muze's speech when he was when they were at Kololo. They talked about Arsenal when Arsenal had won the Premier League, and everyone was talking about Arsenal, and they said, Arsenal, what is Arsenal? So the same issues, yes, it's okay for the young people to enjoy football. To enjoy, because I mean it's just 1 month and then we go back to our everyday work. But as we enjoy football, we, like you said, as a country and the young people of this of this generation, we have many issues than we should be worried about than worrying about what Messi goes through tonight. As I think we should return back to reality after watching the match. It's anyway a game. Whatever happens should not really affect us, because some people get actually depressed from those things. Someone is crying. Recently, my little brother supports Ronaldo as well. When he was out, the guy cried like real tears, and 2 days we were not speaking at home. I'm like, what is this? So I imagine other people are going through the same. I advise, whatever happens to England, to whatever happens, that's a game. It's just a game. Just believe that it's a game.
Indeed,
and we'll be able to move back and face the realities of the issues that are facing the young people. So when you talk about Middle East, I'm going to borrow some words from my lawyer. It is true. It is true that Uganda as a country, when anything is happening in the world, anyway, every country, we also get affected, because as you see, we have some young people that have been staying and working from those countries. We have, like now, you see, when those wars are happening, a lot is affected. For young people that are staying, Ugandans who are staying, some acquiring education from those countries, some who have gone there to look for money. So when there is a war like that, when all these wars, people are on each other's loggerheads, when they say when elephants fight, the grass suffers. So the grass is really suffering. We cannot forget about that. But I'm going to also still borrow Muzee's words. He usually says, he emphasizes Ugandans staying in Uganda so that they develop their country. He emphasizes that we have everything we need in the country to develop, which some young people feel like, no, we don't have anything. We don't have because we are poor. So they will prefer going somewhere where they're making bills first, where the economy is doing better, and get something. And then now in the countries where we are running to, there are wars. So I would advise the Ugandans who are there, or who put so much trust and belief and their energy in going to those countries, to first stay home, because safety is key. At least we should be safe first, and then we see how we can work within our country to change our country.
All right, thank you so much for that, and very important, especially for the communities that are out there in the Middle East to earn a living. We do know that just recently the government of Uganda has been bringing back Ugandans from South Africa, again for some challenges in that country, but we continue to monitor how those situations are going to be managed. Pion, where are you as far as the World Cup is concerned and the Middle East?
As a Ugandan patriot and a Pan-Africanist, we were so disappointed by African teams that always lost in the final minutes. But however, we who love football, we continue supporting the teams that are playing. Basically, being a Ronaldo fan, we face the same disappointment. However, now we stand with England, which harbors most of the world players.
Well, I don't know whether we should say we understand the pain or we understand the passion for football, but
this must be a very sad panel.
But we still have England.
All right, and when you look at the events in the Middle East and the effects they have on Uganda, even when we are thousands of miles away, what does that tell you about the world today, and more importantly, what should be Uganda's role in those spaces?
Being a third world country, you face a lot of issues. Most of our issues that we are going through are determined by different stakeholders, different countries, and the first world and second world. That is why you find that we have most of our youths in the Asian countries, which are highly being affected today. We have our girls, the little ones that are working there, and they really contribute to our economy. Not only that, we've been having an Ebola scare, where the flights were restricted from approaching those countries. And here we are, the war between Iran and America is coming back. It is not only affecting our economy, but affecting our movement. I'm sure that if you check the records at the Entebbe International Airport, most of our flights have been from those countries. So ideally, we are highly affected. When you consider the numbers that our host has been talking about, depending on our oil, most fuel stations even are empty when you move around. That alone shows you where and how we are being affected by the issues in the Middle East.
All right, thank you so much for that. And certainly, like the great panel here says, what is a fact and true is that we are affected in different means, whether it is our people working there or how we get fuel into the country, or even the other things, including we do know that Uganda is also a country that receives good money from our people that work from the outside, contributing to the growth here, investing here, and even supporting life of their families. But colleagues, I want us to shift and now start on our conversation today. One of the things we are talking about is you do know that the electoral process for local councils in the country, LOC1, LOC2, women councils, is underway. We've already undertaken registration in the different villages across the country. Very many of them. Earlier today I was discussing with a police officer, and he was telling me Uganda Police has the capacity to manage all the centers across the country. And I was asking, if we have about 71,000 villages, how many police officers do we have, and how many can we distribute to every village? But that is conversation for another time. I want us to focus on the election. And Tamale, again, I will start with you. Looking at how the nature of our electoral processes, we've just come out of the general elections, and specifically for the youth, that age, 35 coming down to 18, that can participate as voters, can participate as candidates, can participate even as maybe we are going to see youth campaigning for people, we're going to see them on drives across, we're going to see them even in stealing the votes. It is still going to be the youth. But I want you to take me there.
Yes.
From where you are, what have you seen so far? Are the youth participating? Are they engaged? Are they even aware that these processes are ongoing? But more importantly, what should the youth do to see that they can actually take on leadership to create the impact they want to see in the communities?
Thank you very much. Good, as you stated, we are deliberating, and the choice of the panel, the youth. First and foremost, I want to applaud comrades who have taken an initiative to contest in these LC1 elections, one being Kabusu, Ajmal, Sentongo Eric, Sematimba Kasim, Ntulumeta Deo, wherever you are, Ntulumeta Deo, Chiroza, Ajmal in Jogo there, Kasim in Nakawa, all those are youth. So they form the constituency.
I've seen that is under discussion. That you're also contesting. Is that true?
Good, you state it's a rumor. You should get verified information from the horse's mouth. I'm just civically active, and when comrades saw me going to update, enter my name in the register, they thought I'm contesting. But you know, important as it is that you've considered it to be a matter of discussion today, we must get involved from the onset. We should not wait for councillorship positions, chairmanship, MP, for us to be attentive. The elections that we are going to have on 28th of this month are so important that if you stayed home when we are voting for the chairpersons of LC3, mayors and MPs, this time around you shouldn't stay home. Because I want to say the heart of the matter of the village. LC1 chairperson has a lot of powers bestowed upon him statutorily. If you address yourself to the local council courts act, gives a lot of powers to LC1 courts. And who are the components which people form the quorum for local council courts? These are the LC1 chairpersons. As we are all aware, the 9 executive members, from whom we form the delegates committee to vote LC2. And we know how important LC2s are in parish development model. But sticking to the issue of LC1, LC1, unlike the way it is that we have 3 arms of government, the executive, legislature, and the judiciary, LC1 chairpersons, all the executive as a whole, are bestowed with all those duties all in one. So the chairperson that you're going to vote for on 28th is the president of the village, is the chief justice of the village, and is the speaker of the village. For any other reason, they're the finance ministers of the village. So that's how important they are. If the LC1 council sat, executive committee sat, and said, Philip Muliisa, you're no longer fit to live within Bagala zone, instantly you have to take leave, and for a period of time they will consider until when you reform as a person.
Find room elsewhere.
Yes. So those are the kind of people that you are going to vote. Your family issues are directly concerned with LC1 chairpersons. Customary land is directly concerned, addressed by LC1 chairpersons. I have several times that I've taken an initiative to attend court. All land cases have a mention of LC1 chairpersons. So, dear friends, on 28th, if you never registered, okay, go and observe. Now that the EC chairperson said this time round you can vote, as I can borrow the words from Kavuli, you can olonda, no kuma, no kabanja. There you can stay at the polling station. This time around, the EC has given us the leeway to stay at the polling station. And that is for a purpose, that the LC1 chairperson that you're going to vote for will have to form an executive committee. Yes, from you, some of these positions will be from among the village council. You are within the register, are going to form the village council, from which they will get these other members, save for the women and youth. Because the youth chairperson, for the elections that we had in 2025, the youth chairperson is going to be the secretary for the youth on that executive. Then the women chairperson that we are going to vote for still will also form the secretary for the women on that executive. Now the chairperson is going to have the liberty to choose who the vice chairperson is and some of the other general secretary, finance, and that so that to form 9. So that's how important it is. But still, under the Local Government Act, LC1 chairpersons are mandated to receive a 25% from local revenue. When the budget passes at the sub-county level, at division level, there's a 25% that goes off the budget from licenses, building plans, that comes directly to LC1 chairpersons, and that money is meant to be used to address issues that directly concern the village, affect the village. You should not run to your MP to seek for chairs, yet your chairpersons are receiving 25%. Now that we are discussing the youth, what is our role? If you've not contested, if you didn't register to be a voter, because being a resident alone is not enough. You must have registered within the what? Within the register. Paying attention, start following, because there is a budget attached to those positions. If, for example, you live in Bagala and the Goma division in Mukono municipality collects 200 million under local revenue, your 25% is going to be close to 50 M. That money will be directed back to the chairperson, Bagala zone, based on how much was collected from that sale. All that how much is it going to be spent? You've seen, I watched a show when you hosted Nwagaba, Comrade Nwagaba and the likes, and we are discussing, you deliberated on qualifications of these positions. Now, there is no mandatory academic qualifications for these positions. Are you going to watch as we vote for an LC1 chairperson that cannot read and write?
And is effectively going to
follow up the 25%, and is going to write a letter that you don't want to disclose to everyone. Because some of the chairpersons as we have today, to write a letter, he has to call the son, and so the son will know what you're going for. What that contract that I have between you and the leader doesn't extend beyond the family. So go and vote for capable leaders, those that you can hold accountable, and also those that carry the integrity to lead villages. Like I've stated, people's graveyards have been graded, people's houses, marriages have shattered just because LC1 chairpersons have failed to perform their functions. Now that we form the greatest percentage, as I conclude this, now that we form the biggest percentage, we must be very keen on who becomes the chairperson of our village. Because now we are learned, we have a duty to hold them accountable from the budget and also the legal jurisdiction that they carry under the Local Council Court Act.
All right, thank you so much. Madam President, you see, you've gone through an election. And when you listen to Tamale here, number one, seemingly the local council one position is not as attractive as the other positions we went through previously. And maybe drawing from your experience, talk to us. How can these young people in the communities, how can the youth you lead, how can Tamale and Pion here be motivated, be encouraged to go out there and actually participate? Because you see, like he says, you move through random villages and the chairperson is an 8-year-old who, if they were lucky enough, they studied until primary 2, and they do not understand what a contract should look like, but they have the power to get the village stamp and stamp on that contract. We are talking about money now and accountability. We've seen recently the Honorable Balam running around with a few people in the districts, and you don't want to find a chairperson who can't even explain how much they got. So the youth, the young people getting into there, you've been through this journey. What pushes you and how do we get them to get in there so that we don't lose out on this generation that is supposed to be now leading into what Uganda should look like?
Thank you so much, Philip. I think I'm privileged that I am, as far as being a member of ONSA, I'm also a member of National Youth Council at the district level. I'm serving as the Secretary for Female Affairs. Now,
which district?
Rural district.
No wonder the references you're making.
Please. When I was going to run for in National Youth Council, I realized, remember, these are structures that start from village level, sub-county, parish, sub-county, and then district level. Then you find there's a clique of a few youth that are learned and exposed that know about these things. So they keep being leaders in those same positions over and over again, and now they have become like, they have made their own
permanent positions.
Permanent positions. You find the youth is now like almost, actually no longer youth, but they are the ones that know. So when they know, they keep taking up these spaces, and somehow they are not really even active at some extent, but they are just dominating. Why? Because there is lack of awareness in our youth. Mostly when you go back to the village, many youth just know like evenings, laying ludo and all that. And that's what the problem. And then a few that are even learned, or from like here in campuses, relaxing, they don't know that those structures exist, and they don't know that they should go and what and involve themselves. So first of all, there's still lack of awareness. There's that misconception people hear about LOC1 chairman, and they just feel like, oh, that should be my father going for that. That should be someone older going for that, because we have grown up just seeing that. So, my lawyer, honestly, from here we are going to sign a memorandum of understanding. Absolutely, because it is true that at least now that we are learned, at least that now that we are exposed and we are a huge number. You can imagine there are 75% and above youth in Uganda. But then when you ask for a list of chairmen, LOC1s, you find only old people. A few. It is so hard. They even make you feel like it is so hard for you to win when you're young. The people in the village will themselves be like, now that young one, what is he going to help? Why? Because when you come back to LC1 chairman, they do a lot more than all these other structures, more than MPs. Because every family that has a problem runs to LC1 chairman. Family issues. My daughter has failed to go back to school. My son doesn't want to go to school. This one is drinking a lot. This one is stealing chicken. This one is doing so. That's and then so when you compare the old people and what the young people are doing in their villages, so you see that there are few youth that can be trusted with such a responsibility. So it comes back to us, the young people. We complain a lot. Oh, we are not taking this space, but as a person, can you be trusted to take up such a space?
You see, Madam President, as you say that, I listened to someone who said the reason for which they are not requiring qualification at this position is actually to reinforce it for the category of people you're talking about, the elders, to the effect that now, if you are requiring, for example, a senior 6 certificate or a senior 4 certificate, it is not many old people in the villages that have this. Yes. And therefore, you are telling the young people who, like you said, they will look at as people who cannot solve those small problems. They say, no, this is not yours. This is ours. That is why, please go become a member of parliament, go to UNSA, go to wherever. Leave this to us. Do you read that kind of spirit from government? And indeed,
now apart from what a lawyer said, that where I come from describes what I'm saying, the statements I'm making. But I know that when something is wrong, I call it wrong. Yeah. Now that one is wrong. But I'm going to do both things. You can be they don't disqualify the youth. There are no qualifications they are put there that you have to have this, but still whether you have it, you are welcome.
There is that something called overqualified for a position.
It comes back to the misconception I was telling you, that we are going to, those people who are voters, mostly the youth in the village don't vote. You get the youth. Actually, if you go to your village now, many are not there even. During that time, there will be the boarders just riding people to go and vote. The old people who are interested in their position, they will see one. So our involvement starts with us. Because I don't think you have just had a conversation with the police guy. I don't think the police is going to stand and say, youth, no, senior 6 don't come. But the youth are lagged behind them ourselves.
What is the problem?
One is that misconception in our mind that chairman, that one, let some muse go for it. What is there for LOC1 chairman anyway? Because for us, we want this quick thing. What is there for LOC? Somehow, someone feels like if a youth comes, someone is going to come, they read the people on the ground who don't have even a 10K, but they have a case they want to solve. They're going to come to you because you're young, you will not understand them. They will be like, please, before you tell me I need 10K here. You get? So this is a problem that it should be collectively solved.
We have a mindset.
Both a mindset by both us, the youth, and also the government should allow us to really take those spaces, because the youth are the majority. When you go to the village, we are many. But why, when I heard the lawyer saying that these people should come and now vote, bakakume, bakabanje. There are very few people who do that, mostly the young people. There are many people who don't even know that elections are happening.
Well, Pion, you are in a capacity building space. And we have young people, like Madam President says, some of them are not even aware. And even those that are aware are saying, no, that is not my level, that is not where I'm supposed to be. In any case, how is an LC1 earning 10,000 and we're discussing to increase it to 100,000, which government has not adopted yet? How do we get these young people to realize how important it is to participate in the leadership from the lowest levels, especially understanding that many of the government programs that create the real difference in the communities actually happen at this level. If you want to participate in the PDM, you need the chairperson. If you want to enroll in the National Army, you need the chairperson. If you need to go to the university, you need the chairperson. How do we, because these are young people that have gone to school and we expect them to have the knowledge, but somehow the actions portray that we don't have this knowledge. What is the problem? How do we improve this?
Thank you so much for this topic. In the spaces that we normally move through, we identified that there has been a lot of irregularity in the terms of office of the LOC1. Since 2001, I think we held another election of these offices that was around 2018. And since we had to have another election that was in 2023, that was being postponed until today. So this created a very big gap for youth to participate in such positions. But today at least we are confident, since the government assured us earlier this year that every general election that we shall be having these elections held during that specific term. So the youth stand a big role today. We have been demanding to be engaged, to be involved in the leadership at the national level. How can we do that? We are building careers at no cost because most youths are volunteering in the name of building careers. Why don't we go back and shape our country, contribute to the nation by getting into these roles? However much the appreciation that is being given is not worth so much. But for the patriotic view, I believe we can contribute to our nation. We have been in most cases hearing about the army. You never hear about an army personnel complaining, but they always serve the nation first and the others follow. So as youths, this is our time. If you did not register, as they said, for sure, you should go there, observe, and at least you contribute in that way in this this election that you have. Is it possible
for this youth, and we're heading into a break shortly, but is it possible for, when you look at the barriers the two colleagues have talked about, the village people, we look at you, many of you are not married, and one of the cases you're going to be presented with is Mr. X fought with the wife and something happened, this one school fees, this one land, and they look at it and they say, what does this one know about marriage? Is it possible for the youth to get into these spaces and actually create impact?
Yeah, I look at it in the aspect that we just held our census. Nearly 75% of Uganda's population is below 30, which means ideally 70% of the problems that this nation is facing are youth-based. And I believe that it is the youth that understand best how to solve these problems that we are facing. Because as we always say that the growth, the diversification that is coming, the development, we are in this development, which our fathers and forefathers probably did not face the same challenges that we are facing. When you look at the family breakups, all these are happening in the youths. That is why we are worried and we are like, shall we have families in the near future? But who is to solve this? You who is seated there and you are a youth, you can go back and participate and do something. Let's not just settle for the secretary of the youth. Let's engage and play a big role. We can handle these offices and grow together as a nation.
Comrade Philip, maybe before we go to our break.
Just can you do that in 30 seconds?
Yes, I want to note that being a youth is not a permanent stage of life. And I think in our daily operation, we need to know that. We keep stating the youth, but it's not a permanent stage of life. How we brand ourselves is very important. As we call for a wider space to be opened up for the youth, have you branded yourself in a way that a person of 60 years will be sure that you as chairperson LC1, you will serve, you're in capacity for him to come and tell you issues of his family, and you really take it important. The reason why we're carrying that misconception of these positions are for the elderly is because one looks at a person thinking this man is aged or is of age. Once I take my issue here, he'll be able to handle it. Have you interested yourselves in branding to be a responsible youth? Because if you're talking about chairpersons are only get kept for persons of older age, you will not even be MP if you don't brand yourself in a way that attracts trust from your fellow youth.
All right, thank you for
That's why Marceluka is MP and another person of 50 is not MP.
All right, very important in their branding and understanding that actually the challenges affecting Uganda today are challenges that are youth-based, like Pion tells us, and certainly you have to get in there if you want to see solutions to those very problems, or else you have persons that do not know what you're going through, persons that do not understand that actually internet is as important as it is, or perhaps engaging at the international level, and the challenges will persist in the communities. At this moment, we're into a very short break, and certainly we should be right back. Thank you so much for staying with us. We are on the Uganda We Want here on the Church of Uganda Family TV. My name is Philip Muliisa. This morning, we are having conversation on two important aspects. One of them is the local council elections and what the position, the role, and indeed the interest of the youth should be as far as getting into these spaces, but also creating the impact they want to see as we strive to create the Uganda that we do want. But second, we're going to be talking a little bit of corruption in the country. We've seen in the recent couple of months a lot of activity in fighting corruption. Is it about time that we say Uganda is now taking decisive decisions to wipe this out and indeed making sure that all the services that we are capable of delivering for the people are going to get there, because we have enough scare against the same. In studios, I am very privileged to have distinguished citizens of the Republic, High Excellency Shillah Ainembabazi, Mr. Pion Mubangizi, and Council Tamale Nkoyooyo here deliberating on these issues. And certainly you've heard their thought to begin with on the local council elections, but also why, more importantly, the youth should be engaging at this level. And you see, they do say this, but I want to ask them, look, when you look around this country, it is also true that we have many youth or persons in the category of youth that are in leadership, from the level of parliament to the district councils. You have youth positions there, to the villages themselves, as we've been talking about getting out to the leadership there and bringing a new leadership. We've had a youth position at the village already. Even in cabinet, we have youth there, or a youth, okay, if you may say, at all levels. And it is not just in the politics, even in the private sector, you have youth somewhere. Even in the church, you have youth somewhere. In academia, you have youth. But looking at the people that are already there, the National Youth Council, the Uganda National Students Association, and as we talk about youth getting into the positions so that they solve the problem, like Pion tells us, if the biggest percentage of population is 30, 40 years and below, therefore the problems are more or less by those people, and they should be able to look at them. Tamale,
Yes.
the youth that are already there, have they delivered to the level they have to, such that now we say we actually need to put there more people, because the few we put there actually have done what they are supposed to do, and therefore where they are, we see light and we need more of that light?
I am one person who has a very radical view as long as youth empowerment is concerned, and more so in positions of leadership. The tokens that are handed over to the youth in the sense of recognition or bringing them closer to power, a person can accord you a position without authority. Tokens. Many of these positions that we're looking at are just tokens, but they don't carry the real power that we talk about. We've been discussing chairpersons, LC1s, but then what is the role of chairperson, youth chairperson at the village? Youth councillors, after elections, do you see them again? Has there been an established system that enables them to work and effectively serve their constituencies? No. The youth MPs, how many times have you had the youth MPs make mention of the youth, a constituency that they represent in parliament?
Is it a question of the position they have? Is it a question of the people that are occupying the position? Because as you talk about a system that supports them, it is also the old people are also in the same system. They are in the same positions, and they are maybe delivering for their people. You could tell me. So what is the problem? Is it the people? Is it the position?
I will concentrate on the youth now. I will not discuss the elderly who are occupying those positions on whether they deliver or not. Now, our interest today is on the youth. The positions that have been, the tokens of positions that have been given to them, are they of any impact to the youth? No.
Tamale, token is a big word.
It is, and I mean it. These are just tokens that have been handed over to the youth. Have you felt the presence of the president, chairperson, youth council? They keep on abducting, torturing the youth for participating in civic spaces of which we usually come here to advocate that they join. And the chairpersons and the executive remains quiet. Reason, those positions were just created for them, either as a benefit or as a mechanism to silence them.
Positions by law.
And that's why I'm saying mere tokens. But do they have the authority for them to operate? As the youth chairman, National Youth Council, whatsoever it is, have you felt his presence? Because you're youth. Pion, have you felt the presence of the National Youth Chairperson?
How is that presence
and the council as a whole
supposed to be?
You've stated these are statutorily established. How best have they benefited their electorate? How many times have we seen them in issues that matter?
That takes us to their mandate. What does the law mandate them to do?
Have they performed to their mandate, self for taking pictures and post on X? We are here and there's not any substantial purpose they have been carrying out.
Madam President,
So,
it will be about time we hold you to account. You were a leader in a very big office, and Tamale, I'm going to bring back your time. I want us to hear from a leader, for example. When you hear a word such as tokens to the youth, you hold a national position as a youth and a leader of tens of millions of Ugandans who are on the different levels of education. Does it carry any value?
You put me in a very hard.
Does it carry any value?
The positions, like for example, it's mentioning youth council where I am a member. Now I am a national leader in a position like this. So one thing that I can say, I want to say, and I want to emphasize it, is that the youth have these positions are there, the structures are there. Honestly, that has been made very clear. Though of course, to the level, to the percentage of the youth that we represent, we are still very few. Something still lacking because we cannot have only 5 MPs. We have 2% of the MPs that are of the youth that are in Parliament. 2% representing 78%
of the
population. And when you see very well amongst the ministers that were appointed, amongst the chairpersons of committees, commissioners, how many youth are there and how are they performing? Because we keep singing youth vibrant, energy and all that, and they give you the position. I want to side a little with the lawyer. That the positions are there, you take the space, but when you reach, there's a system that you must work under. It's like going to visiting someone's home. You're not going to come and be like, now this home is arranged badly. For us, we feel like that's how it should be. The youth, we are learned, we are energetic. When we reach the house, we should rearrange everything. But these people are saying, when you come, sit there, sit there. So I used the word some days back that we are being, you know, a surrogate mother. The mother is that person is supposed to carry a baby and deliver the baby to the owner of the baby. You get? So that is how, to me, that's how I feel it. But I also want to encourage the youth. Like I said, you're not going to be youth forever, and there's no way you can work with people unless you can do something unless you work with the people. So you first have to be available. Avail yourself. Come, be there. If they want you to sit there, sit there. Learn. See how you can work along with these people. How you can be creative. For example, myself, I'm supposed, I have been moving, making regional tours of schools, institutions. I realized there's TVET. Now we have TVET, and I realized
technical and vocational education and training.
Yes, the institutions are so many now, very many, and we have very many youth that are being involved and taken there to acquire skills. Even the people that have already gotten masters and bachelors are forced to go back and learn a skill. Why? Because we have very many youth without skills, but with degrees, and you have very many youth who are smart. You see a person in suits moving, but when you engage with them to do something hands-on, they cannot do anything.
Is it their problem?
It is their problem.
It is the government's problem?
No, that is their problem. Because if they are youth, let me tell you, recently I was telling some youth, they are youth you can tell to do something, and they're like, Funira muwa. You get, we have this mindset of Funira muwa. But when you go back to these old people, also to understand their level, they have built something from scratch and they have put in the work hands-on. So for you come, you have not done anything hands-on, and you want to impose something that is like in the mind, you have learned, maybe you've read, research and something. So as we do these things, yes, I want to blame the government on the side that yes, the youth come, but they are not creating impact because somehow they are silenced. But even the ones that are silenced, that are given space. Okay, they say, you do this. Find someone doesn't know what to do. We have very many graduates you can call today and say, like, let's do this hands-on. They don't know, they don't have skills. So I've been making regional tours. Realize the challenge is both sides, the government and the people themselves.
Okay. Tamale,
yes.
When you're starting your conversation, you told us you were a very radical youth.
I have a very radical view.
Radicalness or the radical view, is it able to craft a solution to this token you talk about, so that now we have youth in positions that are going to deliver on the impact on the service, on the value you want to see as a youth in your community? Quite briefly.
Madam President notes of a very important statistic as regards to the youth. We form 75% of the population. Why then the biggest population fighting for the crumbs on the table?
Why?
And I'm asking myself, should we even still be talking about the youth positions?
What should be done?
If we form the biggest percentage, then it comes back to us. First, and it's either way. First, when you're voting, why would you vote for people who are not pushing your agenda? Yes, you go and vote for a member of parliament who's 85 years old, and you form the biggest percentage. You cannot even mention his name to that extent. Yes, now that is to the side of the youth. But then as government, why would we keep spending money on institutions that whose role is it ceremonial? All that these people do is to run on these budgets that are within these institutions, I would say, or groupings. Just to spend the budget, and that's all. Find accountability. But the impact on the youth. So, since we form the biggest percentage, then we should fight for our space. We should claim our space. Like we stated, we're not here to stay forever. I can confidently talk about the youth today, but will I be able to say the same tomorrow or in the coming elections? Will I be still within that bracket? Then I'll be an adult. So if I don't claim for that space as a youth today, I will not be in position to claim for it when I am an adult. So we should not think it is someone's role. Or there's going to be someone to come and push us to become what we want. It should be incumbent upon us that we form a body that we want to be and seen as.
Now, Philip,
but my sister here notes of the fact.
Quite briefly as you conclude.
Yes, I conclude. Says that the systems they find there, sometimes she
command you to behave a particular way.
Yes, you have to go and sit there. And then she still notes when they call them to learn, if they call you to learn, you learn. So you're learning already a contaminated system. That's why the problems are recurring themselves. So they are learning from the wrong people already.
Yes, Madam President, as I come to Pion
my dear, the people you're calling wrong are actually not.
You said they're telling you to sit down.
No, it is like I said. It's like you come to visit a home. You don't reach there and be like, these seats are bad. Remove them. Let's put new seats. No, you first sit. See, okay, why is the reason that the seats were put this way?
Many of you have gotten comfortable in those seats.
That's not true. That's not true. We are not comfortable. No one is comfortable with this whole structures of youth being poor and all that. But like you've said, now you mentioned that we are incumbent of our own change. I am in youth structures. You're talking about being radical. Youth are, and it is so wrong that these people perceive us to be just radical. Like what you bring on table is being radical. But in real life, there are people who are so radical they can speak, bang tables.
No, not radical in that sense.
Let her make the point, and I want to come to Pioneer.
Yes, you can shout, bang tables. That is, and these people feel like, oh, the youth are radical. There is a youth today. They even scrapped off those celebrations because every time a youth is there drinking some beer. I'm not talking about you, lawyer. You, lawyer, you're building something. I'm talking about you are now building something. Someone will just be like, I want to go to that council to get some money and come back and drink. No, people are there. And when you say they are many youth, you can give a 5 million now and they will do nothing with it. A highest percent. They will just be around spending here and there, and before you know the money is done. Is that a problem of the government again?
And very important, you say that we do know that there is a series of funds in this country that, yes, youth and many other people are benefiting from, the Youth Livelihood Fund, PDM, EMIOGA, etc., etc. But Pion, look here. Youth are making a contribution. When you go, Uganda is one of the countries in Eastern Africa, if not the entire continent, that has a stable military, for example. And that military is making a contribution in Southern Sudan, in the DRC, in Somalia, in Central African Republic. We are now in Guinea, and I've had conversations of us going to Mozambique and a bit of Burkina Faso. When you look at the people taken to these spaces, save for the commanders, it is youth. Go to the hospitals, the medical professionals in there that are there morning to evening, it is youth. When you go to the schools, the teachers that are at the school Monday to Friday, it is youth. Come to the borders, youth. Go to the taxis. In other words, youth are making a contribution. But somehow, this contribution is not felt. Somehow, this contribution is not delivering the Uganda those very youth want to see. And you know, we've just come out of the budgeting, and we're in a new financial year, and government has actually released the first quarter about 23 trillion. And for me, the question is, how is this youth we are talking about going to position him or herself to be in a space, to be in a position where they are going to create impact that is actually felt? We go away from what Tamale is telling us, that we have tokens. But we have soldiers dying in Somalia and their youth. Is that also a token? They are making a contribution. And I want to see, how are we going to transition and create value around the youth, which value is not now going to transition and become the image of the country?
Yeah, based on what the host has said, looking at the youths, we always say that you're shaking a table with expensive drinks.
Okay.
So when we go to the field and try to interact with these youth in our work, I want to appreciate the government. It has tried at least to engage them in one way or another, because we have partnered with the government here and there to try and see how best we can improve and skill the youths. Yeah, that is a point. But looking at everything, sitting here, and I say that it is perfect, I'll be betraying the youth. Why do we think that the youth can contribute in the security? They can contribute in the health, they can contribute in business, in agriculture, in the digital spaces, but they cannot contribute at the national level. How best can we bring these youths to be engaged? I believe everyone can notice today that we have great leaders with great mindsets. When I look at the panelists here, I'm wowed, and I feel like these people can contribute so much to this nation. I can assure you that basically one of the major factors that is failing youths are the policies that we are having. Some of them are not really appreciating the youth to receive them into the national leadership, because we are looking at youth in leadership. In other sectors, we have been successful, we have contributed, and you realize that Uganda is ranked among the best countries with entrepreneurial minds. As Madam President has been saying that you give 5 million to most youth, they can't use it in.
And now we are giving them 1 million in PDM.
I want to assure you that the entrepreneurial rates among the youths are so high. These youths are involved in technology. We are having different applications that are looking through agriculture, how best to improve agriculture, how best to improve the health sector. Who is receiving them? These people are just there trying to look for external funding and how best they can struggle and put these things out. once the government is not involved, still the population will not appreciate them and it will not receive those innovative minds. But looking at the youth being engaged in the national level, today we are looking at the money politics. These great minds, how will they reach there? My sister is here is a great leader, but I know what hinders you could be money. So you find that by the time you can contribute to this nation, you are 50. Yeah. Automatically, that is when you have raised some money, and now you can bring up your ideas. Probably they can no longer even work because time has changed. Those minds that you had then, and now you're bringing the same ideas, and there is a new group of youth with different ideas that are affecting at that particular time. So basically, we need really to appreciate the youth and put a better structure to receive them within our leadership. Me, as a person who is engaged in the spaces, civic spaces, training and mentoring, I really stand with the Tamale. We need to do something and make sure that we engage these youth in leadership, because what they can contribute will be highly appreciated. However much the government has tried to do something and try to enable them, maybe 75% of them. Unlike all the other work that I do, I'm a statistician. So we shall not succeed if we are moving that way.
Well, what a question that is based on statistics and data, and indeed how it should reflect in the leadership of the nation. Very important conversation in here, and you do hear the quality. Everything should be coming to you the way government has planned it to come, and certainly we do know that even as we discuss this corruption, we also have a corruption that is sometimes legal, corruption that is based in the budgets and so on, and we do hope all these things at one time can get to be worked on. But ladies and gentlemen, one of the challenges as we discuss the youth that has affected even the policies we talk about, the services that are supposed to come to the youth, the education, the healthcare, because again, it is if you are the majority, and we also add the babies that are coming up to join the youthhood, these services are affecting you directly. If a hospital is supposed to be constructed and it is not put there, then there is a baby that will not be born. There is a baby, a mother that will lose their child in labor. There is a child that will not get the opportunity to go to school, and therefore they will not be able to realize their potential and contribute to the nation, and so on and so forth. I want us to take a look at this. In the last 1, 2, 3 months, we've seen, from when the president was giving his speech after taking oath, he told us that this is Chisanja no more sleep and Chisanja no more corruption. Those were his words. And effectively after that, we started seeing movements at Parliament from the top leadership there at the time. Things happened. We moved away after a couple of weeks. Recently we saw again back to Parliament a couple of leaders taken from that institution, and they are inside bars now. Recently, after cabinet was announced, we've seen specifically the Ministry of Local Government, the two ministers in there, the Honorable Balam Barugahara Atenya and the Honorable Justin Namere, moving across the districts and coming with people on those handcuffs. Why? Because apparently they mismanaged national money. And when we look at these initiatives, I want to start with you, Madam President. When we look at, first of all, how we manage national resources as a people, is it convincing to you? But secondly, the initiatives that are underway now, stemming from the call of the president. This is not the first time the president has called out corruption. He did the same in 2021, he did in 2016, in 2011, even in 2006 he did. But now we are starting to see a few things. First of all, is it stemming from actually the message of the president? Is it the president directly involved? Is it institutions of government that are finally waking up to do something? What is causing this uncertainty? Is it the time for Ugandans to celebrate?
Thank you so much, Philip. Now, personally, I have a problem that I am a journalist. So
that's not a problem.
It's a problem. You know, there's so much peace in not knowing a lot. When you don't know things, you are at peace. And because I know my grandmother in the village, she's a peaceful woman. She does not know a lot of things that are going on in this country. But when I talk about corruption, honestly, if someone has a hanky, they should just give me. Because you go to, as a journalist, when you go to different hospitals back in the village, there are schools. Oh my God. You enter a school, see how the kids, the number of kids there, see how they don't have the basics. And someone somewhere is embezzling some amount of money and they don't get certified, tomorrow they embezzle another one. You know, we lose 5 to 10%, no, 5 to 10 trillions to corruption. You can imagine if that money is not lost, what it would do. How many schools would be built? How many hospitals would have medicine? So, but corruption, I went through elections. I went through elections to the national levels in NYC. I have been in elections. I've been in elections, guys.
And I wanted to ask.
Oh my God. You see that they are fighting corruption starting with the topmost. When you're fighting corruption in this country, I think they need to start. Do you not have a kiboko in every home, everywhere? Jesus Christ. Corruption is at another level.
It's that bad?
Very bad. It is very bad.
Because you see, look here, when we discuss this problem, we are, you know, sometimes we miss the conversation, and you see the director of communications at Parliament, for example, allegedly took 5 billion shillings. The director human resource took 14 billion. The director took this amount of money. But even before we get to that level, we do know that when the Honorable, I was looking at the story of Honorable Balam was telling of a civil servant that was mandated to construct a latrine in a particular district. And there is a structure somewhere, and when you come for accountability and you are looking at a distance, indeed there is a latrine there. But when you approach, it is a small building up, there is no pit down. Therefore, it is not a latrine, but money was spent. In the same district, the district engineer says we constructed 8 roads and he couldn't show them 1 road. And these things were on camera and we're all seeing them. Then suddenly, because of the online activism, we've seen videos now, people on TikTok in the different districts, and they're telling us, you see the engineer brought a tractor at night, they are trying to now work on the road now. Please, minister, come before they hide the things. I think someone even yesterday, instead of operating on the bridge, they just powered soil in the river, and water is now heading into people's homes. And I want to ask, you see, when you choose to become a leader, you have decided to serve the people. And I want to believe you have the interest of Uganda, the interest of your district, the interest of your sub-county, parish, village. You want to see them transformed and things getting better. What in between there happens that forces people to get money meant to put together a hospital and say, let me use this money to buy myself a car? What happens?
I feel like in this country, regarding corruption, going beside that, I visited a village in China some time back. One village like this, and I saw the way those people work, the way they operate. The whole village, first of all, it is a must to work in every home. You have to every day register that so and so I am good at this and I have gone to work. And they have one account as a village. They all deposit their money on one account, and that money does every service in that village. Everything. If you want to go to the hospital, whether you're rich or poor, you just go. and you get every service you want. If you want to go to school, you just go. If you want to pick things in the supermarket, you just pick and register that the family and so and so, so we have picked this, full stop. And tomorrow you have to go and work. If you are sick, you register. They know the family of so and so is sick. You get? I was there. I was, you know, like you're in somewhere. You're like, what? How does this even work? And it is working. And every person is getting the services they need to survive. So when you come back to our country, you see corruption. That is one scenario that Baram talked about. But everywhere you go to the hospital, if you don't give some a nurse into kidogo, this is a mother who wants to give birth, they'll be like, please, you're making noise. You get why? Some of them who are on government payrolls haven't been paid. Their salaries are low according to what they need to do. When you go back to class, myself, I am a mother. You go and see, when you see the teachers that now, like, I'm a president, when you come, they're like, oh, you do that. You see that they care about that child. But the so and so is a nobody at all. Their children, whether they understand in class or they don't understand, they don't really care. Why? You go back to their salaries. How much are they paid? When are they paid? Are they paid in time? So from the government to the real people, to the church, to everywhere. You go to church and you see how there's extortion of money in churches. People are already broke, and some pastor somewhere is saying, please, we need some money to do this. You get? You go to the cultural leaders. You cannot go to visit the cultural leader when you don't have something. And maybe you have gone there for a solution, and now you have to first look for something to, you get?
Getting
so
a job, and you have
from
to
the policies to the morals of Ugandans, to the everything we do every day, everything needs to be changed. I want to commend the government and Muse. Of course, he talked about corruption, and we have seen some actions. I hope this standard really it goes like that until the 5 years elapses, because sometimes they start like that, before you know it, you no longer see these movements. So we hope that what Balam and from the speaker, right honorable both to Minister Bayomosi. I have seen him. He was in some hospitals asking for, yes, in Barra Regional. He was moving in hospitals. What in hospitals? What happens there if you go and spend a week or a whole day? You live depressed. You leave that place depressed. So I hope that they can even now also bring the young people on board. Because like Minister Bayomosi, I can move, and myself I can move with him. And we see how those things work. We are here. We don't have many things to do, honestly. We need to be brought on board. Like there are many the youth council leaders in Barara, where Minister was. The NRM League, those structures, they are there. They're there. When he is going to some hospital, I am suggesting that he calls them. Where are they? Come and we move together.
All right, very important. And Tamale here was telling them that people are just in offices seated and spending budgets. We have some work here, and Madam President is offering to be a part of the teams that are going to steer that work going forward in the communities. Mr. Mubangizi, look here, you see, when we talk about corruption, even beyond the monies, you have in offices where you have incompetent people hired, either as a result of nepotism, people hiring their relatives and friends and family members, or just people because this is the easier catch from which they are getting cash, they hire these people, and at the end of the day, the service is not delivered to the people of Uganda. You have, yes, we talk about the embezzlement, she talked about the bribery, all of these things that end up pushing our country down, end up halting our development, end up making it very difficult for citizens to receive the services. I want you to take me there again. Government, we've seen initiatives, people are in prisons, many of them. And you know, in this country we have the Inspectorate of Government, we have the State House Anti-Corruption Unit, we have the State House Investors Protection Unit, we have the State House Revenue Protection Unit, we do have Police CID, that is their duty as well. We have at Parliament about 4 committees that are responsible for the same. I can mention, somehow the fight has been staggering and we have not won it at a single time. Is it this time that we have now won it? And certainly, like I asked Madam President, should Ugandans celebrate that we are there? If not, what more needs to be done?
As I said, I believe in figures, that is statistics and data. Uganda, currently at the International Corruption Index, you can find Uganda is at 25%. 0 being highly corrupt, and at 100 being that you're free of corruption. So you realize
we are closer to 0 than 100.
Close. And we are at, with corruption, we are 148 out of 180 countries. So you can imagine. When you're talking about corruption here in Uganda, it is so too emotional to a common Ugandan, because it is that common Ugandan that does not benefit totally. Once money is stolen in Kampala, you will experience 5 deaths or more in the village. So ideally, corruption has become so dangerous, and even when we are talking about the youth issues, they also come back to corruption, because it is the youth that are being phased out with with this aspect. So, however much we are looking at this, the president has tried to put initiatives. So it doesn't mean that there are no initiatives, but the president is doing something, and the government, to make sure that they eliminate corruption. However, today, with that data that I'm telling you, we cannot say we are corruption free. It is now just like you smear Vaseline on yourself when you did not shower. You've done nothing. You're just going out to sweat and have a bad scent. As a nation, we need to go back to the grassroots. Where did we get lost? Today, go to nursery schools. Your daughter or son is going to contest. These days they call them ministerial positions. You find it is parents that are giving money which will work as bribe to the fellow students. So as you grow, you know that you have to receive something
for you to give a vote.
For you to give a vote. And the person in leadership will always be like, I offered this for me to be here. So now it is my time. In the past, we've had leaders who even didn't want to be held accountable, simply because they feel like it is now their time to eat. And we have gone to a bad state that today we no longer feel shame. That someone will stand out and will be like, leave me, I'm here to eat. When your time comes, you'll be here to eat. But in leadership, you stand there to serve. So, but the initiatives are there to try and eliminate this corruption. We're also playing our part. I believe a common Ugandan also has a role to play. Don't witness corruption and stay quiet. Today, when anything fails, you go to the hospital and there is a challenge. The next question is, you go to the doctor and you're like, what can I do? Corruption has even come to simple things. You're in a line and you want to bypass and you want to offer something. So there's a lot to do as a nation, and we need to start from the grassroots. That is why we in the civic space, we are coming in to do the leadership programs. We are trying to make sure that we create a new breed of leaders that will not be in corruption scandals, will be corruption free, and will instead mentor more people to stay away from some of the vices. There are very many vices. Some are failing to serve in their positions. You talked about the having leaders in positions that are on merit. So we need to fight the nepotism, we need to fight corruption, and we need to do it today. So if we are saying that now we are coming and trying to see how best we can bring the young into this, we need a corruption-free nation, and to eliminate corruption, there should be zero tolerance. When you go to the lake and you just throw in your net and you get the small fish, it just shows you that there is fish in the lake. But when you begin catching the big fish, you'll be assured that now the system you're using to fish works. So as a nation, we need to play a big role, but everyone should be involved.
Everyone should be involved. Mr. Nkoyooyo Tamale, I must assume you are the happiest now. I have severally heard you talk about a series of the persons, including those that are in prison now. And
I stopped.
Why?
I see the smile on your face, and perhaps I should say government has delivered on your call, and certainly we can call it a day not so.
Not really. Excuse me. Like Madam President and Comrade Mubangizi noted, when you're talking about corruption, you fail to find a starting point and where to end. And you know that it affects each one of us here. Comrade Mubangizi has noted of the Transparency International Corruption Perception Index of Uganda that continue to dwindle. We are scoring poorly. If it is an exam, we can't even. If it's midterm, they will tell us to go back to the next class. We are getting a 10, 20 in every exam. In every research that is made about corruption, we are scoring badly. We are performing so poorly.
We should be improving. We've done some revision.
I tell you, what improvement if you're at 20 and now you're at 21?
We were at 26, now we are
25. You see? And the IGG reports indicate that we lose close to 10 trillion every financial year. And that's what they are able to trace. Now, if that's what they are able to trace, with a sophisticated methods and means through which these people steal, if they are able to find 10 trillion, what about that goes unnoticed? So if you have a budget of 84 trillion, be sure we no sense have 64. The 10 is already bugged somewhere for some people to go for holidays, for people to buy the rose. Is it rose, or whichever color it is?
You won't understand.
Yeah, I won't understand. To buy whichever kind of color they buy. Yes? Many were able to, some were able to notice, to get to know, and others will fail. And that's why the performance is still very poor. But where does it come from, and what do we need to do? I want to discuss 2 points here. Political one, that in public service. You see, if I have paid to get a position, be sure I have to dig back my money. So, commercialization of politics is a very important factor here. If our politicians continue to pay to be voted, then they will keep stealing from us. How does someone try to go through unopposed for national elections? Not because in the constituency none of them is willing to contest against them, but because they have paid the Electoral Commission, the courts of law, the candidates themselves. Where they fail, they even abduct them. If you had what was taking place at Kololo there when NRM was conducting their SEC elections, a candidate buying iPads, phones, mention them. For what purpose? That means if they get that position, if they are not seeking proximity to power as a safeguard, then they want to steal from us. Yes? Now that is political. And my clarion call on that to the people is when it comes, even LC1 chairperson that you're going to vote for, please don't permit to pick handouts. I was with one of my friends, and one of the LC1 chairperson's contestant called him, kindly contribute on my behalf. People have asked me for chairs. So I was like, chairs for what? You're just near LC1 chairperson, chairs for what? Meaning, if he doesn't hit to the call that he has made, that you don't have to offer such, they have to go to the bank, get loans, pay, and after paying, those are the kind of guys you hear signing on Bibanja agreements more than 3 times. Because every agreement that he signs, there's a 10% he's getting. So please be very keen when you're voting for LC1 chairpersons. Don't allow handouts, desist from them, and don't vote the candidates that are offering you handouts. Those are the guys that are going to sell your Bibanjas. Those are the guys that are going to connive with thieves in the village, and they terrorize you, and the gangs mention it. Then, corruption in public service. Have you assessed what degree of corruption we have in the district service commissions? District service commissions. And you know that to get a job in the district, you have to go through the district service commission. Starting from how those guys acquire those positions, the chairpersons and the members, how much do they pay? So, these civil servants have paid money to get into the positions, to be a head teacher, a doctor, a nurse, mention it. How then are they going to fail? Someone has paid to become a parish chief for a parish development model, and you want him to give you the 10 million without asking for anything? The 10% of your 1 million? They have to ask for it because they have paid to get those positions. So the corruption at District Service Commission, so it should start from those points. Don't, if a member is paying to get the position, for what purpose you're coming to serve, and there is a benefit attached, what more are you still looking for? So there is a lot to look into that position. I have heard you applauding the work being done by Honorable Babalam Barugahari and the Namere. You see, under 1995 Constitution, we looked at it as a glory of this country, and under it we established several institutions that were to favor address many of these things. Remember,
briefly as you conclude.
Remember many of these issues, the corruption, and that's so how they affected our 1970s and 80s politics. Now we established the office of the IGG to look into these issues. Yes, we need to empower. In as much as Honorable Balam is doing a recommendable job, we need to empower institutions to do their work. If the IGG is suggesting a measure through which we can fight corruption, and the president, the head of state, says you should go slow on those people, they will now start investing their monies abroad. You're killing already the morale of the institutions. She will not do her job as she ought to have done it, or supposed to do it. So we need to empower institutions. We need to fund them. We need to empower their investigations. It's not a matter of individuals. What if Balam tomorrow ceases to be minister? Shall they fight against corruption? Cease? But also the moral character of members, some of these members. You can't be the person who has been acting funny in massacre elections, and now you're coming to fight corruption. With all open to common sense. Do you have the moral authority? Where do you pick the audacity to fight corruption in the districts? How are they going to run? How are they going to run beyond 140 districts to fight corruption? But as I conclude on that matter, we discuss so much corruption that is finance-based, but there is what Honorable Madam President noted of here: moral corruption.
Make it brief.
Yes, I want to invite Honorable Balam to address issue. Now that he has established himself as an institution of fighting corruption, I am inviting him to address the issue of moral corruption. People who break into people's bedrooms, abduct them, take them into basements, torture them and tickle their private parts. That is moral corruption. He should now go for those officials too. Should go for those officials who are abducting members from their bedrooms, tickle them, torture them, and even when they ask for bail, they fail to grant it, even after fulfilling such conditions.
The call is made, and I hope the Honorable Minister is going to receive that message. And here I get to see live on YouTube, we are running, and a couple of comments in here, very many of them. Maybe if I can pick out one or two, I see people that so Apofia here, my President Shillah. I see people talking about, yes, Nkoyooyo, the newest lawyer in town. A lot of support in here. I have a lot of Ronaldo fans in here. And whoever spoke about Ronaldo, people are very happy about you here. But also
consolation.
Many other comments in here in regards to the conversation. Thank you so much for being on the live, and please keep the comments coming in. They are monitored, and certainly we shall be getting onto them as time allows us. Colleagues, we have just about 3 minutes to end the show, and I'm going to share those three, one to each of you, to just give us a final remark from the conversation as we get out of here. We'll start with you, Pion. As we get out of here, and yes, the corruption, the leadership, and the different roles, how does the future look like in a minute?
Personally, I believe that the future is bright. Why? Because we are taking the rightful steps. We are doing the mentorship. We are doing the career building. And when we do these programs, we engage all youths to come and get in touch. When you hear the public leadership program, come and join. When you are looking at the climate advocacy, come and join. We need to do this together so that we can see a brighter nation, a Uganda that we deserve and a Uganda that we love.
Thank you so much. Tamale, your minute.
Mine is a clarion call to the youth. Do not wait to be called. Invite yourselves to the occasion. No one is going to create the space that you keep asking for. Yes, this is your generation, and you must claim for that space. No one's going to create it. And then, as I conclude, now that we're discussing the youth, I want to emphasize people of Kalinabiri, please, Sematimba Kasim, people of Jogo, Kawus Ajmal, people of Chiroza, Ntulume Tadeo, Sentongo Eric, all those people, please go and vote for the youth, and we give them the trust, and we see what the future has for us.
Indeed. Thank you so much, and we congratulate the persons that have come out to stand in the different roles, and we look forward to having the best candidates take on the leadership at that level. Madam President, last word on the show.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Mubangizi. By the way, you have a name of my late father. So from here, we should find a way of how you adopt me. It's been a very interesting panel, but I want to emphasize that this should happen every day, every time, because sometimes we come talk and people have gotten some sense, then it takes you don't talk about it again. So such things should happen at grassroots, in churches, in everywhere. If we had fight corruption and all these other issues, let it be everyone's responsibility. The Uganda we want, there is hope. There's so much hope, and we are to shape it, and we are to achieve it. Thank you so much.
Madam President Shillah Ainembabazi of the Uganda National Students Association, thank you so much for your time and for the knowledge you have shared with us here, and certainly the people out there are so happy that you're able to join us. Mr. Tamale Nkoyooyo, thank you so much for your time and for the knowledge you have shared with us, and indeed the nation has heard you and you have contribution to creating the Uganda we want. And indeed, Mr. Mubangizi, thank you so much for your time and for the knowledge you've shared with us, and certainly your constituency from the Lead Impact Hub, and everyone is so happy that you are here, and your message has been very well heard. And to your viewers, thank you so much for being with us on the Uganda we want today. And you do know that among other things we do here is to set the agenda for the nation, to see that we actually understand what we need, we work upon it, and certainly in the future we should be able to say that, oh, the citizens of Uganda in 2026 made a contribution, and because this information is archived, maybe this is the show that will be used in 2100 to look out for the contribution of Mr. Tamale or Madam Shillah or Mr. Pion, and say these are the people that shaped what Uganda looks like today. Special thank you to the production team and everyone that has been a part of this. My name is Philip Muliisa, and a very good afternoon.
The views expressed on this show are not necessarily those of this television or its management, but as of individuals as we hear them.